Hello and welcome to an episode of 15-Minute Castle. Last time on 15-Minute Castle, we built the compact and highly placed Skywatch Keep, which is now up there on that mountain, to watch over the entire settlement and to just generally give people a bad case of shortness of breath? I don't know. Anyway, our settlement is growing, just a little bit, and this episode I'm planning to put another defensive position on the main road which will lead into it, which will be, when I get around to doing it, coming up from these plains down to the south. Since it's a wide open area, it makes sense to have a fortification of some kind down here, down at the base of the mountain, and just stop an enemy force just casually rolling up here, setting up trebuchets and trying to fling rocks up at all of my beautiful buildings. So, this will be our building site here on the plains, and when demolition comes afterwards, hopefully it'll be a bit smoother because I have actually turned down the graphic settings just to give a little bit more performance. So, I'll see you after I've built the castle. And welcome back. Our nameless town, which I really should name, has now gained a brand new fortification, which I think I'm going to call Mossborn Keep. Again, I don't know where this name came from, it's just, something that came up. This keep is built along much more traditional lines of a fortified position, so it is intended to try and resist forces coming up to the sides of it with ladders, trying to get up onto it, as well as more direct catapult fire, which is a risk, especially with this hill just over here. Because of this, it actually has double thick walls, and it's also got these defensive outcroppings, fitted with lots of windows for defending archers, just fire down on anyone that's trying to get close or scale at the sides. It also looks rather nice, I think. The only actual entrance is towards the main settlement on this side, though sadly 15 minutes is just not enough for me to try and rig up a drawbridge or some other sealing mechanism for this entrance. So as it is simply unguarded except for these statues of the Almighty King, which rules over this place. If I decide to be king, I will not call myself Almighty. Let's just be honest with that. So, let's start the tour. Mossborn Keep, we enter through the front here, and we are immediately faced on the left by the stables, which have actually partially suffered collapse due to dishonest contractors and inferior workmanship. Now honestly, it's because of the roof there connected to the supports above it and immediately sent stress straight down into the wooden walls and broke the entire section. Which is a bit silly really, because they weren't even physically connected. It was just roof there, a little bit of roof there, and then the arches up there, and it just went straight down it. To the right there is a little pen here, and a holding area which could be used for other types of animal, or just sheltering people that have come through. Carts, of course, would have to remain in this main area itself, while the horses could use the stabling facilities provided, and they have the roof for the shelter over there. This building houses the actual garrison proper. On the lower level it's got all supply storage down here, as well as dining for up to 12 people at once. Well, if we head up the stairs, which I have to crouch to get up, I think. Let me up. Let me up. Stupid thing. Okay, it won't let me up. That's fine, I'll just look in through the window instead. I'll have to fix that at some point. But yeah. Up here we have the sleeping facilities for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A good 12 people sleeping as well. So this keep could easily support a garrison numbering about 30 or 40 people if it was a 3-shift pattern, which is rather nice. Access to the upper levels is by these two internal towers, which are functionally identical, to be honest, so it doesn't really matter which one I show you up. It is a spiral staircase inside, which leads straight up to the first level, which is where all of the archery ports in the wall opens up. A nice open space here, just a good view. Ooh, pesky invaders, shoot, shoot, shoot kind of deal. And it's like this all the way around the outside of the keep. I would have put larger fires in here, but after building the previous version, well, not previous version, the previous keep, I decided to leave certain things out, such as the larger fires and braziers, because they do not actually fall yet the way they're supposed to, just remaining in the air. Let me up. Wait, what is going on? Okay, I guess it does matter which tower I go up. So I'll just sprint along the walls here. I'm a defender, I want to get all the way around. So I can just run all the way around, and ta-da, I'm at the other side of the tower. Now, will you let me up? No. Okay, this is weird. I think it's this overlapping wall here because of the design. That's what's causing it. It's blocking the stairs. So that's a bit of design fault. And here we are, on the battlements. Again, we have the defensive outcroppings over here, just giving a nice commanding view of the surrounding plains, along with walls that we can crouch behind to avoid incoming arrow fire and stuff like that. On top of here there is some wooden structures because of weight concerns, and these are intended to provide some shelter for guards, maybe house some supplies, maybe they'll put some tables or chairs in here, play some games of cards while they are not supposed to. And they have tiled roofs to try and resist being set on fire or too easily blown to pieces. And that is really Mossborn Keep in a nutshell. This fortification is built to resist attacks from all sides, though of course it's weaker towards the settlement itself with that fully open door. And I think it should prove quite sturdy because of the extra thick walls that surround it. Now, with that said, let the games begin. First I'll save it, and then I will proceed to demolish it for your amusement. It did save that, right? Yep, saved. Okay. Now, let us begin with the medium projectiles. The king mocks me. I do not like his face, so he is the first that will fall to my wrath. Oh dear. Yeah, as you can see, the torches have just fallen straight down. Same for that one. Let's try pegging him this one in the head. Yeah, those statues really don't seem to like being hit by anything at all, do they? I also want to knock those flags down because it's going to have a new management soon. This is my first time using the flags, but those look like cardboard rather than actual cloth. Now, something to note about this design is because it's got the interior walkway on the walls, it is actually weaker around the middle to top section of the walls because there is a lot of stress being placed up there. So let's switch to a larger projectile and I'll just show that to you. because hopefully we can get an entire section to collapse. Just knock up. Yep, something's collapsing in there. Let's knock out this corner as well. Oh, yep. See, it's just chain reacting now, and a large section of the wall is dropping down. I think I'm getting some slowdown, so I'm hoping that that will come through okay on the recording. Oh dear. Oh, yep, that structure on top is now going as well. The entire corner has been undermined. Yeah, look at that. And I stand corrected, those torches are not quite working properly, are they? Because they shouldn't be floating like that. But still, I got the entire corner collapsed just by hitting it in the actual joints where it is weakest. But that's not enough, is it? So let's just blow it up a bit further. Now, the lower sections of the walls, though, those are the really thick parts. And as you can see, they are actually resisting the projectile shots very, very well. That one actually fell short. So let's start by that. But the actual weakness is, again, halfway to 3/4 of the way up, because that will cause large sections of the wall to collapse. Oh, yeah, see, that's chain reacting all the way around there now. These corners are a major weak point. I didn't realise that. Yeah, just look, just causing enough damage to one of them and the entire thing will collapse. Okay, that's a design consideration I'll have to keep in mind for the future. Because I do not want to have a defensive fortress which has that kind of weakness in it. That serious flaw. Still, it does make for some spectacular collapsing though, I must admit. And again with the torches, just knock those down. And miss completely. And miss completely. There we go. Let's see what happens if I start pummeling this thing in the top. Because it's just a thin layer of rock. Actually, what I'm talking about. It is actually a solid layer there, three blocks tall for the base of it. Then it's the hollow section, and then it's another solid layer on top of that. So that's why it's actually got a bit of a top-heavy problem. Because the top layer is actually built out of pure stone blocks to better resist the impacts from above, like I am trying at the moment. Oh, that's just collapsing straight down there. But yeah, the structures on top are not really meant to resist the cannonballs, but the walls of it, they can resist it, sort of. Not as well as I'd have hoped, but still fairly well. Let's blow that torch off. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, this thing is starting to take some serious damage now. Let's knock this one down. There we go. Crunch. The entire thing's just falling to pieces. Okay, next. Yeah, let's go for the stables. We don't want the defenders to run if they haven't already. So let's collapse the stables there. Bring some rock down on top of them maybe. There we go. Those horses aren't going anywhere. And just to be sure, let's actually bring down the front of it there to block the exit. There we go. A whole load of rubble there in the exit. Honestly, the rubble is not actually sticking around as much as it did when I built Skywatch Keep, because that's one of the settings that got turned down. But this thing is resisting the large cannonballs quite nicely. So, for an experiment, let's try a super heavy. A large one with 10 times the mass. And let's throw it straight into the weak point of this one here, which should be about there. And see what it does. Yep, entire thing is breaking up in the middle there quite nicely. Is the rest of it going to collapse? No, somehow it's actually staying up. I'm not sure how. Let's do some further structural damage. Yeah, I think that is actually provided a very nice way in for any attackers. Just to climb up the rubble here and go crawling through the walls of the fortress. So this is actually completely undefendable on that side now. Oh, that just collapsed that entire section of wall up there, didn't it? I want some more battle damage. Let's throw some more balls in at the bottom of it. Just like that. There we go. This is truly a war-torn keep now, isn't it? Because I'm just taking whittling shots at it, pecking bits off it. Just for the lols. Because at this point, this particular place is not actually defendable. It is too badly damaged. This bit is too intact for my liking, so let's throw a heavy ball into it. There we go. But as you can see, that inner wall of solid stone is actually holding up quite a lot of its structure still. Despite the outer layer being reduced to rubble, the inner layer is still holding together quite nicely. So the actual ramparts will not collapse just from a modest level bombardment. And with the two access ways up as well, it's actually pretty hard to damage them because they're behind the main walls themselves, so the defenders can still get up and down it, and attacking from one direction isn't really going to do that much. But let's bring an end to that, shall we? Since we're trying to demolish this place, it is time to... Ooh, is that a massive collapse going on in there? There was a lot of collapsing going on there, a bit of lag, I saw some dust, but not really, so let's knock this side down. Ooh, yeah, that's going down. The guards won't be happy because that just crushed their supplies down there. And that part of the wall went down as well. Yeah, that stairwell's exposed and it's useless. That just leaves this main guard section. Let's put some large cannonballs into it. Let's blow their beds up. Yeah, that is a flaw I've noticed actually, that the cannonballs, if they hit debris or they hit floating objects like these beds, that is not really good for them because it actually completely blocks their momentum. The shrapnel that they generate doesn't have any mass or impact damage of its own. So, in effect, if you have a castle that collapses in such a way, you could have debris forming a defensive barrier against any further projectiles, which would stop it from being damaged. Oh, that exploded quite nicely. So that is a possible way to exploit that, so long as the debris actually remained in play. But since it does disappear if you've got so much of it, that's not really an effective solution long term. Let's free some debris down there. There we go. This entire side's collapsed now. And I know that this bit's going to be lagging a bit in the recording, because that was actually slow on my computer as well. When there's a lot of stuff falling, it generally is. Let's just collapse some more of the main arch in this main section here. It's not really feasible for me to completely demolish this place like I did with the Skywatch Keep, because the outer walls are just too solidly built, really, for it to be susceptible to that. It'll still keep its basic shape even if I just keep pounding it with projectiles all day long. So there's no point in me doing so. Why is that piece of roof up there? I don't like that. Yes, fall. Thank you. But yeah, I've demolished functionally most of the keep now. That entire area is starting to give way, I think. Nope, that's fine. That just leaves this particular guardhouse on top of the, you know, I don't know which way is which direction in this. So let's say this is southwest of the main settlement. Yeah, southwest. So that makes that the northeastern corner, which has still got its tower on top of it. Well, tower, guard hut. You know what I mean. But not for much longer. Let's see if I can collapse it from underneath. Yeah, I'm just collapsing the stone floor now. And, yeah. Byesy byes. There we go, the entire thing is just falling off onto the rubble and it's actually going down there towards the stables now. And quite a bit of lag as well. Then again, that might be because I've actually got a fan running up in the town itself. A fan? A windmill running up in the town itself. So that might be a thing that's causing some extra lag. It probably is. Especially since it's got a cog system attached to it, which is rather nice. I might do a tutorial on that later, I don't know. But yeah, lots of debris. And a pretty nice, almost wrecked... Yeah, almost wrecked Mossborn Keep. I don't quite want to leave it there. I want to actually get this last section to come down, so... Let's blow out some more exterior walls. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That entire section just showered down. Let's knock that one out under there, and that should under... Yep, there it goes. The entire thing is tilting. But it's propped up again, so... Let's hit it dead centre and see if we can break it up. No, you're still holding together. How about there? No. There? There we go. But again, now it's having the same problem as it did in Skywatch Keep, which is things getting caught on the torches and refusing to collapse properly. So that is a rather impressive mound of rubble there, if I do say so myself. So that is something else. I'll have to remove these torches from any future builds too, and the beds, if they're going to be anywhere where it could support the actual structure itself. Just get rid of that. No, full power. Thank you. There we go. But yes, I am happy to say that this is Mossborn Keep, which has been pretty much demolished. Let's put one in there. That should collapse a section. Or not, because I already knocked out most of the weight above it. Never mind. But yeah, that is Mossborn Keep, reduced to mostly rubble. And this has been 15 Minute Castle. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you some other time. Goodbye.